Three, two, one, bang.
Okay.
Here we are. Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of MY3. And I have a very, very good friend with us today. Sneakerhead, creative. He's going to tell you a little bit about himself. And we haven't got the usual MY3 that you've been seeing. But James is going to tell you kind of about his three and his reasons. So, first of all, none other than Mr. James H. Welcome to the stage, James.
Hello, sir. I would bow, but I'm sitting down, so I can't really bow. I did my best. The only thing I'll hold back on is I'm definitely not a sneakerhead because people wouldn't necessarily like my collection and like me to a sneakerhead, but we'll give that a go.
Enthusiast, we'll call you today.
Archivist, maybe we can.
Fine.
There we go.
Now tell the viewers, you plug yourself, IGs, etc., etc.
Which IG? There's so many of them.
So, well, your sneaker photos one, probably.
Okay, fine. So my name's James. I am a graphic designer by trade. I am involved in a number of different creative avenues. My sneaker account is Sneaker with a lot of underscores. I can't remember if it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 photos. Really, really underwhelming name given someone who runs a creative agency. But yeah, I've been collecting now around 20 years. With my collection going all the way back to kind of like some of the Parapata cherry woods and all that kind of stuff, the chlorophylls. My kind of collection is really vast and wide, but ultimately the biggest underlying reason as to why I buy stuff is mostly related to kind of color blocking and kind of the fashion-based materiality side of things, as opposed to kind of the traditional way of resonating with the story behind the physical shoe.
Brilliant, love that. All right, so on that note, let me show me your third sneaker, and you know what it means to you, and you know if there is a story or why you chose that shoe. And if you don't mind, tell the viewers how you got the shoe, where you got. You don't have to go into too much detail if it's from certain plugs, but you know whether it's retail, raffle, or resale, for example.
No, I don't have any plugs. I just. But one. Okay, as Jamie mentioned, a little bit different to me as opposed to everybody else who I've been watching on this channel or this YouTube kind of series. For me, I'm in between homes, so I haven't got access to my full collection. So I've brought with me a number of pairs that I've kind of had over the last few years that I regularly wear. And for me, I'm going to talk a little bit more about silhouettes as opposed to physical, actual shoes, if that's all right. So
brilliant, bring it on.
So for me, I'm going to start with something that everybody kind of knows me for within my kind of circles, and that's the Nike Blazer.
Yeah.
Now, these for me were something that I got from, in fact, I would say all of the ones I've got here I've got for retail. So they've been through either connections from work, they've been through friendship groups, whatever they may be. This first shoe is the Soulland Blazer, which I think you may have seen.
I have indeed. Yeah, I've seen that a few times. You don't see it often. I love that snakeskin on it.
So what's really interesting is also it's got the swoosh that wraps around the back, and it's got like Soulland on one shoe. I only brought one shoe downstairs because there's already a mess on my floor. But Soulland,
that swoosh, is that kind of coming out or something? Is that
it's like a chenille, kind of like carpeting kind of material with an iridescent swoosh which goes across here, and then on the back it says Fry on one shoe and Day on the other one.
Love it.
Again, and it's also written across. I don't know if you can see here, but there's white writing running down the actual tongue itself. So for me, again, I've got another blazer here because, again, it's not necessarily to do with the fact that this is the off-white, albeit that I love these because of the colorway.
Yeah.
For me, this silhouette has always been synonymous with the way in which I dress because for many, many years, I've always kind of tried to stray away from what society is telling me I should be wearing. I get a lot of comments on, are you going wading because your trousers are too short? Or the fact that, why are your trousers so wide? My girlfriend can get in there with you. They're welcome to if they want. But the thing for me is it just works really well. The height, the fact that I love a Jordan 1, I do, but it's very much got on the kind of the wagon this year or last year with so many releases that for me, there's something more about the individuality of a shoe like this, where it doesn't necessarily look like a standard blazer, but it's still got the same attributes, which to me aesthetically are really pleasing. The height, the fact that it's got semi kind of connotations toward the skate shoe. Same with this one. Absolutely love these. As I said, all of my shoes are worn, but I keep them in really good condition.
Love to see it.
Yeah, actually, there's one pair down here that I haven't worn because I can't work out a way to wear them. But yeah, I just, for me, everything about the blazer just aesthetically just really fits well within kind of the way in which I dress. And the colors, I'm not afraid to wear color. Um, I just, for me, there's just something just a really good harmony in the shape of the shoe.
I love
Exactly.
it. Well, there you go. You've put the story to it because it's about, the way you dress. So therefore, you feel that blazer silhouette is something that resembles you, which is a true testament.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's not about what other people think. It's about yourself
No,
and what
it's
makes you
not.
feel comfortable. And
That's,
one thing I actually want to jump into,
yeah.
slightly going off course, one nice thing about the community is the diverse of the dress codes and the way people wear their sneakers and stuff
Mhm.
is so diverse. Even from when I've been in it in the last few years and seen how everybody is. And I actually love that about it. Like, no one's afraid within the community. I
Well,
feel it's one place you can go to certain meetups and stuff and wear what you want. And not that you care about people judging you, but it's definitely one place where you will definitely not get judged, for
Well,
example.
it's the merriment now between street culture, fashion, and kind of like what deemed as being acceptable as everyday wear, even to work. Like for me, for many years, I've had this culture where if people do judge me in my workplace for what I wear, I have no interest in working with them as a client. That's as
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned. It's an extension of who I am as a person, and therefore, if they don't like the way that I dress and make a judgment based on that, as far as I'm concerned, they're a little bit shallow and have no I have no kind of real kind of meaningful connection there with them. So for me, it is an extension of who I am as an individual, the career path that I've chosen to follow, and I just for me it's just again that additional expression of who I am as an individual. I'm also in an area where I don't really see much kind of like connection to sneaker. I live in Notting Hill, but
Yeah.
I always get people who make comments on the shoes that I wear, but I don't
Yeah,
think
but
they know
Notting Hill, for people who don't know Notting Hill, it's a very trendy area. So it would, if for me, I think the sneaker culture around there would be kind of that discreet undercover sneaker culture.
Yeah, like as I said, for me, it's much more, and this will run through, and I'm going to grab a few different shoes apart from the kind of the three. I will pull out one that you won't probably expect from me, actually, as a silhouette that for me is one of my favorites. But for
All
me,
right,
yeah, it's all
so
about the materiality, the color blocking, the way in which people have been bold with the way in which they've created the silhouette. That for me is what's really interesting. So, on to the next one.
yes,
Something that a shoe or a kind of two shoes actually, albeit that I have got a load down here, so I'll try not to take up too much time. But for me, something that's had more of a resurgence due to their incredible collaborations last year is New Balance. Now,
yeah,
there's a huge kind of like lean towards the 990s, the V kind of like gravitated towards. I don't know if it was to do with their kind of their slightly limited appeal, but for me, kind of New Balance Asics for many years have kind of been on my radar. Store called Concepts a long while ago. I actually don't remember the year of these. So these are the New Balance 997s, which come in like a number of different colorways and silhouettes, but they've been a
which one was the Concepts collab?
this
That
one.
one,
So
yeah.
the concepts color, I've got, I don't know, they came in like a light pink colorway, but these are lined with like a peachy kind of leather as well. And these, bearing in mind, they must be 5, 6 years old. They're worn, but they are in such good condition. Like the suede on these is absolutely like superb in comparison to some of the newer kind of like Nike based release. Same with this, it's the
Sure.
998. This is God knows how old as well. This was a collaboration, I believe, with J. Crew. Just holds. Look at the silhouette. The silhouette's just as relevant as then as it is now. It's just a great shoe. I've got
They've
it
made some massive moves last year, New
another
Balance.
998. Just a really easy, super comfortable, but super relevant kind of like silhouette. And I just think that apart from the fact that it definitely goes with what I'm wearing today, but
Definitely.
that's for
That
me.
wasn't planned.
No, that to me is a kind of like one of the best silhouettes. There is a joint second though, so I don't know if that's allowed.
Come on, throw it in.
I'm sorry, you're gonna hate me for saying this, but it has to be the Chuck Taylor. Uh,
It's an interesting one, the Chuck Taylor. Let's first of all rewind to the New Balances.
okay.
They had a massive year last year. I've got to be honest with you, I actually don't own any New Balances. Not because I wouldn't want to or I'm against them. I just feel every time there may have been one that's come up, there's been another Nike or Adidas, which I've kind of more gravitated towards. I
Yeah.
feel like I would like to stop doing that and maybe kind of, you know, think outside the box a little bit. But yeah, they've had a massive year. The collabs are massive. I think their color palettes are lovely. I feel there's a
Yeah.
lot of them. I feel it's very wearable with lots of different colors. And a shoe like that it's an all day, everyday shoe. And also I feel like it's very timeless, that shoe.
It is. It's. Do you know what? This has been. There's the 991 that people are going for at the moment. The 992s. I think they did a collaboration so with Jound. Then they did. What else did they do? One recently with something called Paperboy, which is like a kitchen, like
Yeah,
a
I've seen that coming out.
toy.
What's the model which there was the Casablancas and the Levi's?
327s.
Yeah, and that's the new model from last year, correct?
Casablanca launched the 327. They're actually my neighbour. That's the only reason
Oh,
why I know. So I actually went after trying to get those in the original orange. They did an orange and green, then the green kind of like flip way. I found it really interesting. For me, not a silhouette that I particularly like. I like what it's doing, but it's slightly too out there. Albeit that I do quite like the Triple S Balenciagas and stuff like that. Don't judge me. But yeah, I do love those. But then it's
the
a very
viewers won't judge you.
well. I don't. I'd let them judge me. That's
Yeah,
fine.
whatever. That's another story for another time.
Yeah, I
So, go
think.
on, let's quickly touch on the Chuck Taylors.
Well, yeah,
It
because
is a classic. It's a classic for Chuck Taylor. I like them a lot. I've got quite a few of them. My only problem with the Converse and the Chuck Taylors is comfort levels. I'm wide footed and I'm a size 11, so it's
well,
just not a shoe to be wearing an all day or an evening for me.
so I have the shoe size of a small child, so I'm only size 7. They are. Do you know what? Since I have recently, I started. I was wearing Converse all the time. They were so easy to wear, and I wore. I've got maybe. Oh God, I don't even want to tell you. 60, 70 pairs of these, and they're all in pretty good nick. To be fair, as well. I even started customizing them, and I put it kind of onto my socials.
Yeah, I saw it. Looked really good. That.
Yeah, I just my girlfriend started up like a women's kind of like an accessories brand, like a bag brand recently, and it kind of inspired me to get involved with my hands. But yeah,
Why
do
not?
you know what? Yeah, you're right. Comfort isn't that kind of amazing. I just really like the kind of the timeless aesthetic of the silhouette. I
Yeah,
know there's way more comfortable shoes. Like if I look across what I've got here on the floor, like I know that these you absolutely love, but
yeah,
there are more comfortable shoes. But if I take it purely what's interesting to me from an aesthetic and a materiality
yeah.
perspective,
It's a
I
timeless silhouette.
really like it. That to me is the reason why, for me, I think if I was to go away now and say to myself, okay, I want 10 of the shoes from my collection, there would always be a pair of Chuck Taylors in my collection.
Love it. Thank you. Okay, so brings us nicely on to number one,
Uh,
which I'm supposedly this is going to be your number one favorite silhouette. Is that correct?
it's so hard. So
It's
basically,
so hard to have a favorite, but one that within your top three.
I have 4 shoes that are left on the floor, and I haven't decided which one it is. That's how bad it is. I can talk about shoes and silhouettes that I think really made a difference last year. I can talk about, and I can show them as I'm talking about them, and then I'll give you my favorite. For me, this was
Let's just see.
this
Go
was
on.
groundbreaking. I absolutely wanted this shoe from the second that I saw it. A
Yeah,
lot of people don't like it. A lot of people see it as an ability to resell this for something that they'd rather have. Aesthetically, for me, this answers everything that I want within a shoe in terms of a contrast of materials, kind of a really considered kind of attempt to pair colors together that are really kind of amazing. It'd be stupid for me not to mention this shoe. I think it's probably, for me, I really like the Off-White Jordan 4, which I have. This, for me, should have been, if it was just based on me, the shoe of the year last year. I absolutely love this. So I would,
fantastic.
sorry, but so
That's all right.
I
Go on.
have to
One more.
say,
One more. Just one more.
okay, I have to say it. My silhouette for right now is the Dunk High.
Yeah, fantastic choice.
Now, my favourite shoe of last year of the Dunk was the Spartan Green ones, which was
Yeah,
that one there. You see, I came prepared with
I can
with all of
see.
my options. This for me, however, when I got this was the pick of the bunch. Even though I love the Spartan, because the Spartan green one I've worn maybe 200 times, so I wear it all the time. I wear it to go to the bins, I wear it to go to the supermarket. However, albeit this is something not many people have seen. I don't know. Have you seen these before?
Yeah, I've seen it. It didn't have a wide release in the UK, that shoe.
No, so it's an atlas.
Yeah.
This is kind of like it's basically formed of like a. It's based upon a story relating to a kind of a load of sneaker crates that were dropped into the sea. There was
Okay.
a whole kind of like a story around the idea that a load of shoes went missing, then they washed up on the shore. So the idea with this is it's kind of got this
So it's
crack.
the washed up look.
Yeah, so it's got this cracked leather. It's got like the yellowing of the sole, which I know is kind of slightly hit
I
and
love
miss.
that.
I know.
Yeah.
I personally love the Nigel Sylvester Jordan ones for that kind of washed out look. But
Yeah, that's come up a
me,
few times on my three, that shoe.
yeah, I saw it and I was really jealous of
Yeah.
that dude who's got them. Hit me up if he wants to swap and he's got midget feet. So I just think for me the colours on these just so it reminds me of almost what Jamie when you and I were kids, and I can imagine my parents getting me a pair of like Pro Keds or something like that, and the colours of this light blue against the red and the light yellow comes with other lace colours. I think the red and the blue. For
So it
me,
brings back memories for you.
it does. The colours for me are just a really nice, relatively subtle. It's got a shadow of a yellow swoosh. I don't know if you can see it under the blue.
Yeah, I can see it's like a shadow. It looks lovely.
It's just
Lovely.
that so for me, silhouette wise, at the moment, kind of brings together a lot of the other shoes that I like, the Blazers, the Chucks. I
Well,
can't.
look, let's
I've
stop
got to
there for
mention.
a minute.
We've got to mention this. I'm sorry. I know you want me to stop, and I will stop. But
No,
this for
I was going
me.
to say, because at the end of it, we obviously do like shoe of the day or something. So
Okay.
is that your shoe of the day?
No.
Fine. So go on. Let's put that away for a minute. I love you dearly, but it's called MY3, not My500. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. That's the
It's all
problem with
good.
loving
It's
sneakers.
all good. No, I love it. I appreciate you coming on. But no, honestly, that's a really good, solid selection of silhouettes. Great stories behind them. And again, you put the silhouette and there's a reason behind it. There's a memory for you growing up. It's something that resembles you. It's something that resembles what you're into. So, again, that's what it's all about. There are stories attached to these shoes for all sorts of reasons. You said to me at the beginning, oh, people have got those stories, but your stories are slightly different, but it's still a story which
Yeah.
is attached to the shoe. So you've been a legend. I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to let you show one more shoe. We're going to do shoe of the day or what's on feet. I'm actually going to start first.
Go on then.
I decided to pull something a little bit different out today because I knew you were coming on. So I actually picked this up last year.
Oh wow, the Mizunos.
Yeah, it was the
Oh,
Pata collab,
have you
and
seen
this was
the recent Pata collaboration? Was it Pata collaboration with New Balance?
yes, that was a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
wasn't it, or last week? Yeah, but these shoes, it's my first time going on to a Mizuno, and I love it. I think it's a great shape. I think it's comfortable, and it was kind of like testing the waters last year. I want to try and do a bit more of it this year. As I said, I want to get some more New Balances, maybe some more Mizunos, and test the waters with some other brands and try and be a little bit different.
Definitely worth giving it a go. I'll get you into a pair of Balenciaga shoes at some point.
The funny thing is I don't actually dislike them because I've got a big feet. They're big enough as it is,
Oh
and
yeah,
I feel a size 11 triple S will literally be a boat.
you can't drive in them anywhere. I'm only a size 7, so there's
Yeah,
no
I
point.
can imagine. So
So
come on, show me your shoe of the day.
I can't. So for me, this shoe can't get enough plaudits, and I showed you it before.
Yeah,
But for me, if this wasn't put up as one of the shoes of last year, I don't get it. I just don't understand people who didn't put this up there. From the materials to this one actually, do you know what? I haven't worn it yet because I don't. Given in the UK, if you get anything,
that
like
weather,
this,
that's the problem with
it's
it.
gone.
Yeah,
This I put this up retail at Goodhood in Shoreditch, which is where I used to pick up a lot of my shoes pre-lockdown, based upon being a loyal customer and a business account, all that kind of stuff. This for me, again, I don't necessarily know the story of Strangelove, so please don't shoot me.
I
But
don't either, but
I
it's
know
a
it's
phenomenal
physical,
silhouette.
right? But for me,
Yeah,
across this entire shoe, even the kind of like the insole, the kind of the base of the kind of the outer sole, the material combinations, the suede, just all of it in its entirety for me makes this just a great interpretation of a shoe that everybody knows. And this became quite close to the beginning of when the kind of the dunk kind of
I was
started.
about to say it was right at the beginning of last year, and then the guy who actually designed them, the Sean Cliver,
Yeah.
he finished off with obviously another shoe to finish the year off, which was just as good.
Do you believe? So, okay, I'm going to ask you a question because it's best good for me to put one back at you.
I
These
don't
or
own.
the
I
other
don't own. I don't own either of them. By the way,
ones? These or the other
unfortunately,
ones?
it's a tough decision. The other ones are more wearable,
The blue and the
but
gold.
yeah, the blue and the gold. But those, there's something special about those. They will go down, I think, in history. That shoe.
I think it's one of these shoes that I imagine may go up there, up on those shelves.
Yeah,
Because
yeah, it's
you know,
that sort of shoe.
I generally do wear every single pair of shoes. You can see it. I wear every pair of shoes.
Yeah.
These, I've started to kind of move into considering certain pairs that I've got in the same admiration as I would with a piece of artwork. This,
Yeah, no,
albeit that it's a
totally.
shoe, I kind of see it as just a really great piece of considered design work. So for me, this goes down as probably alongside the Comme des Garçons mid Air Force Ones, which I know you don't want me to go through, but just a quick flash. I just absolutely like slept. They weren't slept on. These were kind of valued afterwards. These two were probably for me the best shoes that I had from last year. Quite closely followed by
That's enough.
the Sakai's. The
Lovely.
Sakai's would be it.
Yeah, no, the Sakai's are a great shoe.
Yeah.
Fantastic. James, I really appreciate it.
You're always
Some really
welcome.
lovely shoes, some really lovely stories that you shared with us. Thanks for coming on. Yes, you and I could sit here and talk for hours and hours and hours.
We're yuckiness. That's the problem.
Next time we get you in the studio and we'll have a proper podcast and we can bring
right.
everything in and we can do it. I look forward
Cool.
to it. But as always, to the viewers, thank you very much for watching. You know where we are. Get in touch if you want to come on the show. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment as always. We will see you again with another episode of My